This is a precursor. For those of you who saw my YouTube post, if you didn't, I lost my job recently. So we're just doing 3 days of kind of just chillaxing before I throw myself back into, making the essays, making the videos. Now I got a little bit more time. I'm still not unemployed. I just don't have my main source of what I was doing each day, which is fine. Plus, your contributions have helped me massively in being able to survive transitions like this. So let's not even dwell on that. There was another episode of Maybe You Peaked in High School coming out, and I kind of want to make this a precursor to it. One of the things I noticed that I was blind to are the people who inhabit these spaces. What I kind of forget is my questions or my dialogue on how certain people react to things and what type of media they ingest can be skewed based on outside opinion. Now, you might say, isn't that kind of fucking obvious? Hear me out. If you listen to Asmongold speak, there really isn't any sense there. There's no artistic value in how he strings together sentences. This is not a requirement to be a streamer. None of what I'm going to say is going to be a requirement for you if you ever wanted to join into this. What it becomes a necessary part for is when you start speaking to a larger group of people who can take your words and then develop a personality based on it. It's very hard for somebody to act like Dr. Disrespect. We're going to push past him being he like minors. We're gonna push past that for a second. The persona only the persona only puts out quips. You not going to school dressed in a vest with the glasses talking about I'm the 2-time math test A guy. Like that, it don't work. For kids it don't work. For young adults, it don't work. For people in their 20s, it don't work. Like, it's a him thing. You can make some of his quips part of your vernacular, part of your everyday slang, as in the 2-time or whatever. You can make a little joke about that. But you're not becoming a full-fledged, I can copy that. When you get into SEL, socio-emotional learning, and you start speaking about certain topics, the way you present these topics does mold interactions as opposed to just the language. And what I'm blind to is that people grow into certain types of people from people like Asmongold, which doesn't make any sense. Somebody's filling in the gaps for them, and I dare to say who that might be in their lives, let alone who it is on the internet. But because my view is so narrow of how I would perceive hearing a person speak and gaining nothing from it, doesn't mean someone somewhere else isn't already getting that same feeling from, let's say, Philip DeFranco. It's hard to build an insane amount of personality based on Corey Kenshin. But you could kind of tap into a personality from RDC World. These comparisons are things that I'm blind to because I don't have a community that large to where I could oversee and notice waves. So anything that comes across my dash is pretty much unfiltered, which is unfortunately not great for my mental health, but also really great because I'm really strong at I've lost a lot in the real world. This stuff here doesn't really matter to me. I could really turn the computer off at any point. With all of that being said, when you follow these thoughts up with a certain type of, I want to say, empathy, you can hear cracks within how an actual audience should glom on to information. This is the war that I think us lower level streamers, more unknown creators should fight. This should be our front of the war. And I'm going to use this clip to explain why.
Like, am I crazy? Like, I mean, like we don't remove Chris Brown's music or.
I don't know if people do that meta transcript thing where they look through people's videos, but there's been many videos where I said we really failed as a society with that Chris Brown thing. That ironically is just the thesis of it. Is that We have a real-time example of admittance, video actions, in public, clearly something happened. Nothing happened.
Fucking, Chuck Berry's music, didn't
Kind of why the whole Rock Nation, Puff that, the whole thing was.
he like date like a really, really young girl? Like, I mean, like, holy fuck. Like, I don't, yeah, I mean, who gives a fuck, bro? Like, the guy, like, what should matter more is if the guy goes to jail or not. So, I don't know.
If he goes to jail, depending on the deal he gets, he might still be able to receive royalties from his streaming platform. And it's like, this is what I mean about the gaps. This is what I mean about the gaps. This is what I mean about the gaps. People take conclusions as just conclusions. You can't be conditional. And that's hurting everyone's thought process when listening to fucking morons like this. Is you'll say the most basic generic thing and people will say, you're not addressing what he said. You're not addressing what he said. You're not addressing the substance of his argument. You're attacking his character. But you're watching, aren't you? Do you want a reason why you shouldn't like him? Because I've given you plenty in just this 32-second snippet. Let's keep going.
Michael Jackson or somebody else. Yeah, Kanye West. Like, bro, fuck this. Holy shit. I think they should cut off his money. I mean, I don't really... And then, no, I don't like the idea of cutting off the guy's money.
See? See what I mean? Not pre-watched. When people make certain statements out loud, there's only but so many directions they can go. If the context behind your character provides another direction for you to go, then your character will naturally develop into, I will say certain things because I know what will be okay. I will know what will be accepted. I know what will be allowed. When people try to strip context away from you, that means that your character's too solid for them to attack. They can't find a way to justify that, oh, what they're saying is bad, because they know it's not. He, however, does not have this frame of reference when speaking. So now you can cut through, do I have to think about his character? Because even if you had a positive view of it, it can keep getting knocked down by everything he says. And if you have a negative view of it, no matter how much you try to find a point where he makes sense, he doesn't. Because then he goes right into, I'm just going to say the opposite anyway.
And then keeping the stuff up there. I don't, because then it's like, well, then they can come up with any reason to do that.
They already do. They already do. You don't make music. So, that's exactly what I was saying about well-rounded people having large audiences. I've been screaming about that shit for like years at this point. If you don't do something, there's a glaring gap in all of your knowledge. At least touch some of the subjects to help you connect to other subjects. One of my last raids was a Magic the Gathering player. I've never played Magic the Gathering on this stream, but niggas know I play card games. I've played sports. I've done the nightclub sessions. I teach. Come on. Help yourself, brother.
Maybe after he loses the case, I'd be willing to hear it. But in my opinion, I think that you should separate the art from the artist. And you shouldn't look at trying to...
Anybody who says that at this point, I think is just a pedophile. I'm sorry. Because now this is what I mean about the evolution of society and how this white nationalist bullshit is never going to make any sense to me. Like, homogenous thought. Separate the art from the artist. And he put her fucking voice in the art, nigga. Like, you probably have never heard anything he's done. And just talking out the ass, and then you have nothing else to go on, to ever report on, to ever say on, because all they give you is talking out the ass. They never want to be confronted. They never want their minds changed. They never want anything. And for some reason, there's 60,000 sweaty ass little tiny white boys who swear on everything that this is the pinnacle of human thought. Because no matter what, they're going to see a black person and the first thing they're going to say is, you're talking kind of loud. Look at him chimping out. And then the cycle continues because that's the response your audience is giving. But ironically enough, that's not the response your audience is allowed. Because you wouldn't say that to somebody's face. Because you don't say anything to anyone's face. People moving bold, people moving brave. I wonder why.
To remove art and remove media because the artist did something that you find to be problematic, unless that art or that media is part of the problem itself, right? Like,
I play Lily's Determination. I'm shuffling my hand. I'm drawing 8 cards.
Say, I don't know, it has some sort of illegal activity in it or something else. Art? Well, yeah. I mean, music is art. I mean, wouldn't you say that? I mean, I would say that. Like, I mean, do you want them to make it to where, like, you can't see Hitler's artwork, or do you want them to?
If that's not a self-report, who brought that shit up? Why would you want to? That's not weird to you, bro. Like, that nigga died in 1945, and you talking about him in 2026. That's not weird to you, bro. That your mind just jumped to, I'm just talking with no filter, and the first thing I thought about was, well, what if they didn't let you see Hitler's artwork? Bro, there are like hundreds of thousands of like notable bad people who made art. They exist right now. A few hundred thou exist right now. Like, don't you like not like black people? Come and figure it out, man.
You say that? I mean, I would say that. Like, I mean, do you want them to make it to where, like, you can't see Hitler's artwork, or do you want them to make it to where you can't look at Chris Brown's, you can't listen to Chris Brown's music anymore? Like, I don't want to see that happen. I don't. Like, if you made a song about murder, I don't think the song itself breaks the law, even though it's kind of weird.
Oh man, and that's just that for 8 hours on repeat, and y'all fucking with that? Nah, we gotta change that. We gotta fix that. I gotta start hitting you with the paradigm ray. Please free these niggas, bro. 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 Please.